What's happening? What's good? What's going on? Part of my presence YouTube channel. First and foremost, want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I want to say all the best in 2023. If you haven't already, get a piece of paper, write down all of your goals for 2023 and have some determination, dedication, and perseverance. And at the end of the year, look at that list and look at all that you've accomplished. If there are things still remaining to accomplish on that list, then keep in mind, just because the year's expiring, it doesn't mean you can't keep going and complete that list. And once you do, throw away that piece of paper, get a new paper, write down a whole new set of goals, and you keep going. And that's how you prevent yourself from being stagnant, and that's how you ensure that you evolve and you continue to grow. And I also want to say big up to Steak Gang. I also want to say big up to my 300 plus subscribers. Yes, I was able to hit that 300 subscriber benchmark. I was also able to hit my 30,000 views benchmark, so I want to say big up to that as well too. Some people might be saying that's small time fry business, but to me, every accomplishment is an important accomplishment, so I'm going to embrace and celebrate all of my W's, no matter how small they may be. So my goals for this year is to get my community section validated and on and popping, so that way I can communicate with you in various ways. Now, having said that, I was supposed to drop a part 2 to the video when loving the wrong person can ruin you regarding Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion, but I'm going to hold off on making that video. I'm going to wait because they pushed back the sentencing date to sometime in February, so I'm going to drop my video in conjunction with that news story so it gets more traction. But what I really want to discuss right now is the fact that MLK Day was yesterday, January 16th. Martin Luther King's birthday was January 15th, 1929. Now, if you look at it, if he was still alive, he would have been 94 years old. An interesting thing about it is that many people look to Tupac as being prolific, the fact that he died at 25, but yet he accomplished so much. But in contrast, when you look at the life of Martin Luther King and all that he was able to accomplish in such a short period of time, we're talking about things like having a hand in the construction of the Voters' Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, all of the organizing for the sit-ins, the protests in Montgomery, Alabama, in Selma, Nobel Peace Prize winner as well too. There was so much that he was able to accomplish, and to have his life cut short at 39 years old, it only goes to show what of a loss that was, not just for Black people in general, but for everybody across the world, and how much he actually meant to the world, and what type of advancements would have occurred if he was able to continue with his message. And the interesting thing about it is that his message was changing, right? A lot of times people try to connect Martin Luther King to the I Have a Dream speech, but that speech was old. That speech was said sometime in 63 or 64. He was assassinated in 1968, so that's 4 years removed. He was making many speeches since then, and his tone and his messaging was changing because he realized that a lot of the issues that were affecting Black people in that time, it wasn't just about being able to get acceptance and being able to go to the same water fountains or being served at the same restaurants. Many of the issues had more to do with economic inequalities. And what he realized, because he said it, and there's a video clip floating around the internet where he said that he feels that he brought his people into a burdened house because the economic system in America, it really doesn't work for people who do not have any ownership, people who are the have-nots, because all that integration did was take the life force, take the energy, take the intelligence and the creativity of Black people, and all of that economic resource was put into white companies, white neighborhoods, and it uplifted white power structures, and it did nothing for any Black power structures. We were locked out of wealth. We were removed from ownership and blocked from ownership, and that's what actually led to him thinking, you know what, this is probably not what he envisioned, and he was about to change his messaging and to focus on classism, and that's when he was assassinated. So I just want to give you that information. But what I really want to talk about was the unveiling of the Martin Luther King statue in Boston. The statue was named The Embrace. So when they did the unveiling of this statue, number one, you can't even tell what the hell it is. It looks like someone's colon. It looked like two pieces of dung. You had people that were in the crowd when they witnessed the unveiling. A lot of people had mixed reactions to it. Some person said it looked like a penis. Other person said it looks like dog doodle. So many people were looking at it, and just the way how it looks, it was unclear what it signified. And it wasn't until later on when, more context was provided that you realized that this quote-unquote embrace was supposed to represent the hug that Martin Luther King gave his wife, Coretta Scott King, when he was announced as the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, number one, you can't even tell that it's embrace. Why? Because depending on what angle you look at it, you can't even tell that it's two sets of arms, because you can't see the hands depending on which angle you're looking at it. So that's why it could look like something, like excrement or a colon. But the other part too is the fact that there's no body. There's no head to signify, where they're hugging or what angle they're hugging on. There's no body. It's just two sets of arms. And it looks weird. That's all I want to say. Now, what makes the story even more ridiculous is the fact that when you find out how much this cost the city, and when I say the city, I really mean taxpayers. It cost taxpayers the tune of $10 million to commission this quote-unquote work of art. And when you look at it, just look at the pictures that I'm posting up here, it doesn't look like it's worth $10 million whatsoever. But apparently it was dipped in bronze, and apparently it was created by some type of notable artistic director or artist who was selected to create this piece of art. But when you look at it, you can't even tell what it's supposed to be. I don't understand what part of this was worth $10 million. Clearly, it looks like it really cost him about $100,000, and the rest was pocketed, either put into his bank account, or there's some type of money laundering going on where they put $10 million on paper, but a lot of that money was funneled somewhere else, probably to build more volleyball stadiums somewhere in Boston. Who knows? Now, a lot of the things that were said that I agree with were actually said by some of the members of Martin Luther King's family. One person said that it looked like, again, two penises. I believe that was Seneca King who said that, which is a king of Coretta Scott King Jr. But the other part is another family member said, I don't understand why they would spend that much money on a sculpture when they could have easily used that $10 million and put it to good use to better or enhance the economic positions of Black people and Black families within the area of Boston, which to me is the most logical thing, right? How many community centers can you build? How many housing or affordability housing programs can you build? How many shelters, women's shelters can you build? How many things can you actually put into a place and build and create into fruition with $10 million? And not just for one group of people, but a whole city. So to me, it's a huge drop of the ball to see how much they spent here. And it's weird. It's almost like it's some type of political symbolism, because nowadays, I noticed this happened since George Floyd, is that there seems to be this push to create some type of symbolic gesture to show that, hey, Black people, we see you, we acknowledge you, we're with you, we're your allies, we accept you, we like you. Some of my best friends are Black, some of my co-workers are Black, we want to invest in you, like all the different things that they're trying to play up. But really, when you look at it, all this symbolism that you see out there, the George Floyd statue, all these other statues that they're putting up, what good does it do us? It doesn't do us good at all. And the way how I always looked at it, I don't want to be accepted. I don't want to be liked. I just don't want you to stop me from being able to raise my family, the way I want to raise my family, to earn money and to make a living and to build wealth for myself. Because that's really what we really want. We don't care about these statues and uncivilism. We want to make sure that you're not blocking us from promotions, that you're not blocking us from being able to get loans, to be able to buy property, that you're not putting unfair restrictions on us, or that you're over policing our neighborhoods, or that you're redlining our neighborhoods and our communities, and all of those things. If you stop doing those things and focus on the actual systemic racism that goes on in America and also in Canada as well too, there'll be better outcomes for Black people as a whole. But they don't want to do that. They want to provide symbolic gestures, because those are the things that you can actually put out there that are tangible, that can be put out in the media to pull on people's heartstrings and get people to vote. Because that's what really this is all about. This is all about preserving either liberalism, or make sure that Republicans stay in power, or to make sure that we keep going back and forth fighting between two different parties, when really the betterment of Black people has nothing to do with which party is in office, right? It's really about making sure that you don't restrict us, prevent us, and try to put different things on us, sanctions on us, that will limit our trajectory, because that's really the issue. Like Martin Luther King said so many years before, the economic system is flawed, and we need to remove this flaw, and we need to rebuild the economy the proper way, so that way we're all able to have not just the outcome, because the outcome is not the issue, or the results are not the issue. What the issue is, the lack of the opportunities. The opportunities are not there, and that's by design, because if the opportunity was there, we could walk through those doors, we could represent each other the right way, we could compete, we could do all that we need to do to be on a better playing field for all of us. We don't need the handouts. What we need is to make sure that you're not interfering and blocking our blessings, right? So that's all I really want to say about this particular situation with this sculpture. I don't know why it was commissioned for $10 million. Now, I would really like to know where that money went, because clearly it didn't go into the making or the execution of this particular project. But that's my opinion. You let me know how you feel. You let me know if you agree or disagree. Leave in the comments section. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, next move, best move, part of my presence YouTube channel. Peace.